Hello guys and welcome back to Crime Dog. Before we start this special episode, please consider subscribing to our channel and share this video with as many people as you can. On Saturday the 28th of May, the Champions League final took place between Liverpool and Real Madrid at the Stade de France on the outskirts of Paris. What should have been the experience of a lifetime, watching your home club challenge for the highest accolade in European football, turned into a nightmare for thousands of Liverpool fans. This is chaos at Stade de France. The problems began as soon as fans tried to board a train to reach the stadium in Saint-Denis. Due to a strike on one of the routes, thousands of supporters were forced to cram onto the only other line heading to the stadium. According to the SNCF, 37,000 people travelled to Saint-Denis on that line, 3.5 times more than a typical event at Stade de France. On arriving, they looked to make the short trip up to the stadium, only to discover massive queues. As with minimal ticket checks and little to no signposting, fans found themselves penned in as they made their way under or over the busy A1 motorway. When they did manage to get to the stadium, the scene was just as chaotic. Fans, most of whom had been shoved through a dark, narrow underpass and had encountered local pickpockets who had worked their way through the slow-moving queues, finally arrived at the ground. They found a series of closed gates with police and stewards uninterested in their concerns. UEFA claim many fans who showed up to the game without a ticket purchased them from touts outside the ground. Many of these tickets were fake, and when they presented them at the turnstiles, they were rejected, causing a major blockage. This significantly slowed down the entrance to the stadium, and thousands of genuine fans with genuine tickets, mainly from Liverpool, found themselves shut outside the ground for hours. As security officials lost complete control of the situation, fans with club-issued tickets were also being dismissed as fake. Security completely closed entrances at one point, and riot police were called in to deal with the increasingly frustrated and angry supporters. It was alleged that gangs of local youths who had been pickpocketing and robbing fans close to the stadium attempted to take advantage of the chaos and try to force their way into the stadium, climbing over security fences and rushing security personnel. Riot police responded indiscriminately with tear gas and pepper spray in an attempt to regain control of the situation. With scores of supporters, including children, disabled fans, and elderly matchgoers, stuck in the queues outside, leaving thousands of empty seats inside the stadium, UEFA announced that the start of the game would be pushed back, initially by 15 minutes and eventually by 35 minutes. Inside the stadium, a message on the big screen relayed the news. The delay, it said, was due to, quote, the late arrival of fans, despite pictures and videos showing thousands of fans queuing outside the stadium hours before kickoff. It was a categorical lie, a blatant attempt by UEFA, the governing body of European football, to shift the blame. The news arrived just 14 minutes before the scheduled start time, but was not communicated to those still waiting outside, a move which would have alleviated at least some of the tension that had built up over the previous 2 hours or more. Steve Douglas, a reporter with Associated Press, was set upon by a police officer who bundled him into a security hut and threatened to remove his accreditation unless he deleted all the footage he'd taken from outside the ground. Robbie Fowler, a former Liverpool legend, spent most of the first half outside. His son Jacob and brother Scott were amongst those caught up in the chaos. Even Liverpool player Andy Robertson revealed that one of his friends had been refused entry, accused of presenting a fake ticket when the ticket came directly from the player himself. The post-match experience was just as bad. People witnessed ambush attacks by organized gangs on unsuspecting attendees. Departing fans were forced to run a gauntlet on their way to the Metro, many being mugged, not a police officer in sight. When they walked to the police station, police officers weren't interested and told them to go to the hospital. When they got to the hospital, there was a man in there who had been hit by a Metro train when running away from someone with a knife. Another fan witnessed close up the heavy-handed treatment of fans by police en route to the Saint-Denis train station. He saw armed officers pointing guns at terrified supporters, while others ran for safety. One Liverpool supporter was waiting for a taxi with his 9-year-old son when he was pepper sprayed. The poor lad was in tears, and I doubt he will be wanting to go to a game again anytime soon. This story is not about fan disorder or hooliganism. It's not about fake tickets or late arrivals. It's about safety and security. It's about those who went on a dream trip to watch their team and paid a fortune for the privilege too, don't forget, and found themselves in the middle of a nightmare. Both the French Interior Minister and Sports Minister have laid the blame solely at the feet of the Liverpool fans for trying to gain entry with fake tickets and force their way into the stadium. Liverpool Football Club and the Liverpool Metropolitan Police, who had officers on the ground, have refuted these claims and requested a full inquiry. They have asked people with video and photo evidence from the night to come forward so they can get a better picture of what actually happened. With Paris set to host the Olympics in 2 years' time, there will be major concerns over their ability to host such a large event, given the disastrous scenes at the Champions League final. I have been a Manchester United fan my entire life, and there is certainly no love lost with Liverpool fans. However, the way they were treated at this game was absolutely outrageous. Liverpool fans are some of the most loyal and well-respected supporters in the country, and for many of them, Saturday night at Stade de France would have taken them back to Hillsborough in 1989, when 96 Liverpool fans were crushed to death. Lessons will have to be learned quickly if French authorities want to avoid a repeat scenario at the 2024 Olympics. I have lived in France for over 20 years now, and I have witnessed a growing disconnect between the police and the general population. And I would say their status in society, in the eyes of the French population, is at an all-time low. This would never have happened in Britain. People in general respect the police back home, and more often than not, dialogue wins the day. But in France, for as long as I can remember, police have been under constant attack from protests and general unrest in the country. While in no way excusing their behaviour at the stadium, this may go some way to explaining their over-aggressive response. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Please leave me a comment below and let me know your thoughts on what happened at the stadium. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more Crime Dog content. We release new videos every week. My name is Nick, it's been a pleasure. Until next time, stay safe et à bientôt.